Watching the Barney documentary on Peacock. Amazing.
Oh my god,
Barney documentary.
This documentary about why people hated Barney. Like it's a whole thing. It's not like what you think it is. It is a great documentary.
It's a great documentary.
But shut the fuck up, guys. It's new intro time.
What is going on, everybody? What is going on? Welcome to this week's episode 245 of the STS Guys. I am Jeremy.
Hey, it's Larry.
And I'm Scott.
And we are the STS Guys, a weekly podcast where we sit around, shoot the shit, and talk about anything geeky, nerdy, and cool. What is going on this week, guys? And welcome back, Scott.
Hello, everybody.
Good to see you, buddy.
It's starting to progress here. I can tell you, I have been bored as shit, so I am happy to be back. So,
talking to people who aren't in your immediate family.
Yeah, exactly.
That's always a plus.
Here's how bored I got, and I never would normally have done this, but I got to the point where I became annoyed, and I have started wall mounting all of my TVs in the house. I hit the point where I'm like, okay, I want some extra space. So.
That's a good
use of my time, right? Like
good project.
It's a project. It's and they are ridiculously cheap to find the wall mount, surprisingly. So.
And it's super easy. It's ridiculously easy.
30 minutes per TV. There is one, Jeremy. I will say this as a heads up, Jeremy. There is one that I have that I'm probably going to need your help with, similar to the one you have. It weighs 100. It weighs 110 pounds. Getting it up, I will need help to get that TV up on the mount.
Because it's not even the weight; it's the awkwardness of it.
And it's an 85-inch TV. Yeah, There's no way I can lift that and put it in place. Just me.
And you don't want to break it.
No. Oh no!
Right? It's not worth the risk. It's a two-man job.
It's a two-man job because I will immediately spike that shit into the ground just when I'm trying to lift that up and hook it on that thing. Like it is guaranteed. I understand. So at some point you're going to get a phone call.
Happy to help do the assist, sir.
Yeah,
nice.
Happy to help.
Comic-Con. Wait, but before that, it's been a week.
It has been a week. It's been a week.
But yeah, Comic-Con.
Yeah,
Comic-Con week.
Comic-Con. We got some stories from the old Comic-Con.
I think we can make this into one episode this year.
Yeah,
I think.
I was wondering.
That's the challenge.
That's interesting. So
that is
all right. So we'll say third party who wasn't there. Let me just start off and ask a couple questions. We knew that there's a lot of people that didn't show up this time. Like some people just flat out skipped. Like, and not people, I should say, like vendors and people that normally show up to Comic-Con as presenters or having booths didn't show up. Was that noticeable on the floor?
Not as much as I thought it would be. You know, so like there were less panels, right? Because the Actors Guild thing. Yeah, I mean, there's basically no TV movie kind of panels. Very, very, very few. So with that, we had thought that the exhibit floor would just be packed, and it was busy, but it's like always busy, right? Jeremy, do you think that like it was definitely busier than last year, but last year was like 80%. Yeah, it was post-COVID, and it was just a weird year. But like I feel like this year was back to normal. It wasn't any busier than it was. Yeah,
because you had pockets, right? And you had pockets of craziness listed on the floor. Like honestly, I said everywhere around Funko, crazy as always. I said about some of the other booth, crazy as always.
That Star Wars booth.
It's always busy. It always gets crazy busy. I said right in the middle right there. But for the most part, I said it was easy to kind of walk around and navigate. I'm going to be one of those people. I definitely missed the carpet. I said walking around. But no, I don't think it was like anything too crazy. I said compared to what it was, but it was definitely. Like I said I didn't see. I said less people. That's for sure.
That is for sure, and it definitely was more than last year. Like which just kind of confirms that. last year was lighter than usual, right? Because there was 2022 was the replacement for Comic-Con 2020, which was 2 years. So people, some people needed to cancel. Like that's a long time. So, it was just kind of back to normal. Except no TV movie panels.
Well, and I think the one thing to highlight that's back to normal, that's as is tradition for us, right? We literally got skunked out of everything in the lottery. Not a single one of us.
Yeah, that's a good place.
Got anything in the lottery.
Yeah. 0 for 5.
0 for 5
out of our group.
Out of our group of tickets, right? 5. I said 5 out of 5 tickets.
Yeah,
0.
no Funko booth, no Biddy booth, no UCC. I don't know autographs. We got nothing. It was very disappointing. I spent all that time like carefully allocating my 12 points a day.
Points, right?
Just to get nothing. Yeah. But that's okay. Like so, that's a good place to start, right? So Wednesday preview night, we had preview night badges. Even though we didn't get anything in through the portal. Funko, bless Jeremy, with preview night access to the Funko booth. So at least one of us was able to get in and buy some Funko Pop exclusives, which was cool.
Yeah, so went in. Like I said, that was an adventure. I said in and of itself. Like just because I think what's interesting. I said right. I said especially it's on preview night because you have basically the general crowd in there, and then Funko I said is closed to the public. I said on preview night, like I said the main booth is closed on preview night to the general public. You cannot go. I said you can't go into the booth, and so that ends up actually creating some tensions. I said with some of the general congoers because they're like, like you see people online and they're buying stuff, but then I said there wasn't a way to get it on the lottery. So how are they getting to buy stuff?
What about me?
Yeah.
What about me?
One of these things doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So in my entire timeline, saw several different arguments. I actually intervened in one, and I was telling Larry about this. This lady was pissed. She was angry. She's like, it's like, I don't know what's going on. This is ridiculous. You're talking about, like, I can't line up in my spot. You're saying the line's capped. Like, how is the line capped? If I said if it wasn't even time for my spot yet, like, and she starts just going off and going on and on and on. So the poor guy, I said, that's the the booth volunteer that's basically giving people the checklist to basically figure out what they want to buy, right? Like, and he's like, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry.
What can I tell you here?
He's like, the booth is closed. Like I said, it's not open to the public today. I said it's either open for, like I said, VIPs or for special access. And unless you have basically, I said the special access, otherwise you can't get in. And then she's like, well, I had the special access. She's yelling, cussing, and then she says something that triggers. I said a thought in my mind. I'm like, wait a minute. Ma'am, I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, your access. She's like, well, how am I supposed to line up if it's not even the time yet? I'm like, she's like, I said, you talking about the lottery? She's like, yeah, I won the lottery. So I'm like, ma'am, it doesn't open up until tomorrow. And she's like, no, it says the 20th. Yeah, today's the 19th. Like
today's the 19th.
Wasn't it like 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. or something?
Yeah.
Too, right? Because she's like, my time, you weren't even open at my time slot. Like, how was I supposed to be in? Because preview night starts at 6 p.m., which is late.
Right.
Yeah. It was
super confused.
It was super confusing because she felt like an idiot because she was literally making a giant scene. I said out of everything. So that was, of course, that was interesting. But no, I said it ended up buying a few different exclusives. I really ended up actually liking, honestly, which I didn't think. And I'm curious to kind of get your thoughts, Larry. I didn't think I would like him as much as I did. I'm really liking the Blockbuster Rewind figures.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
I'm liking the Freddies. The Freddies. I said the Freddies themselves. The other characters look kind of weird because I got a Batman. I said as well. But the little Freddies, I really like them. They're really photogenic.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. So yeah, like Jeremy got into the main Funko booth, but then we each were able to get into the Blockbuster Rewind booth, and I got the Freddies. I got the Mickey Mouse like Fantasia one, and Ian got a Huckleberry Hound just because Like if I waited in line, I felt like we needed to get something.
Yeah.
Besides just
that's one of the
I need to make it
problems
worthwhile.
I think that you have with all those places is that once you get in the line and you wait so long and you get up there and what you want is gone, you're like, I'm gonna buy at least something.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Because I was gonna buy the 4 Freddies. Ian didn't really want anything else, so I'm like, all right, well, let's I'm gonna buy something extra just because.
Like here's
Do you have it up?
Yeah, here.
But they were cool, and we got the Blockbuster Rewind pins too, which was a nice bonus. Yeah, there's Jeremy's picture of the comic book one.
I still think they missed a golden opportunity. I know that they can't really do this, but to keep the VHS cases proportional to an OG VHS case.
Yeah,
like because you're not that far off. You're not that far, but I do enjoy that Superman Freddy. I think that is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was pretty cool.
There's the Superman, the robot Freddy's pretty cool, and then like a park ranger Freddy. I forget what the other one is, but they're surprisingly cool. They don't stack very well, those boxes. To Scott's point, like I wish that they were just kind of completely mirrored the old Disney clamshells, but I get it. Like plus then people just complained that they were too big and take up too much space. So I like the size. I like that there's chases that we didn't get any of the chases, but like Jeremy's showing the picture now of his robot Freddy. That robot Freddy chase is selling for like $250 and stuff. So people are obviously like at least a little bit interested in these.
Yeah, I said I'm really liking. I said these little rewind figures. So.
They're cool. They're kind of fun. Kind of like the sodas, cool. but different.
It's like a little smaller soda. Yeah.
I do like the idea, right? Of it's more of the packaging, to be honest with you. Like the idea of bringing back the VHS clamshells, especially like I said, especially those Disney ones that had the thick walls, the big, thick.
I know they did it for some other ones, mostly the kids movies, but it's the Disney ones.
That's because you knew that kid was going to
diet sodas. They're diet sodas.
Yeah, you had to have the clamshell thing, so when your kids spiked the Little Mermaid into the ground, the VHS wasn't broken, but you could skip that with Die Hard. Like, hey, let that one go in the little cardboard tube
for adults. I think Manny's onto something, right? He says he hopes they do horror rewind. Like there's got to be a Freddy Krueger and a Jason, and like
I would be all
a Freddy.
I would be all over. I'd be all over the.
I feel like that would be pretty popular, especially with chases, like red bloody chases. But everybody loves a bloody chase anyhow.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, and for Ed, let's hope they make hope they make Star Trek like a Spock or a Kirk, like old school Star Trek or even new school Star Trek. Right? There hasn't been too much Picard stuff in a while. Like why not a Picard or a Worf? Those are the only two Star Trek characters I can name.
No, one of the other things I said all this was in what they called the Funkoville area, right? So like they had some different shots set up. So one of my main things that I wanted to get, I said when I was there,
your main thing,
my main thing was there was a poster at Mondo that they were only selling that night, which was the cover swipe. I said of the first issue of Spider-Man 2099. And I don't know, I think I've told the story on the podcast before. I don't know if I have, but Spider-Man 2099. And the reason why I love Spider-Man 2099 so much, that is the literally first comic book I picked up off the comic book rack. Like I said, when I was a kid, the first comic book store I got to go to. As I said, it was Atomic Comics. I said it was in Mesa, Arizona. It was
Atomic Comics.
I said there's the original location. I said across from Fiesta Mall.
The OG one,
the OG one. I said it used to be across from that AMC theater that used to be there, and that the entire area is condemned now.
I think they're turning it down.
Yeah, so I that was the first comic book I picked up off the rack, and so like I said, that's why I always fell in love with that character. And so they did this poster, which is a foil, like I said, same thing as the original comic. It's a foil poster, so it has the foil edge around it. So it's a 24 by 36 poster. Literally my number one grab, and then like I said, I beelined it because there was no lottery, there was no nothing. I said for this
first
come,
and
first,
I think there was. Mondo's great about first come first serve.
Yeah, and I think there was what's the edition? I see that pull up. What's the edition size on that? It was pretty small.
Like
it doesn't say on here, but I think it was 230.
Yeah,
it was 200 something.
250 is normal what they do bring to the cons.
This
They
was,
have like a
this was a
250 for
random
each night. Yeah.
This was a random uneven number, but it was only Wednesday. So to Jeremy's point, like since he wanted it more than anything, before he went to the main Funko booth, he made a pit stop at Mondo, which was cool. You got the Mondo pin too, right? For going there.
And I got the Mondo pin. Yep.
That was a pretty sweet bonus.
Yeah. So that was a sweet bonus. But yeah, so I was definitely a Funkoville pin collector. I tried to basically get as many pins as I could.
Yeah, and you got a couple because you got the eBay one and the $7 a pop one.
Yep. Shout out to Jason because I talked to him in line. That's how I got the $7 a pop.
So you were able to go home with more than I expected. Me as well. Like I think I got 3, which is good. But right, I figured if we got 1, we'd be lucky. But we each went home with some pins. That was cool. Good freebies.
Yeah, really good freebies. They were. The funny thing is too, and this is I think why they were sought after is they were, like I said, in traditional kind of Funko style, they limited edition the pins. So like the pins were like I said capped at like 500 a piece. So,
yeah, and some of them were 250.
Some of them were 250. Yeah,
which is really low. Yeah, I don't know. Missed opportunity to make a bunch of people happy. They should have just given out pins to a lot of people.
But more on numbers and stuff at a later point in time in the podcast.
Oh God. So that was your Wednesday. Well, real quick, Funkoville. One of the things I like most about Funkoville, right? So I got in the Rewind booth on Wednesday and the Biddy booth. The Biddy booth had like the Batman biddies, the Freddy biddies, and then because this makes sense, they had the Freddy as Toucan, right? The San Diego Comic-Con Toucan mascot pop at the Biddy booth, the pop at the Biddy booth. So whatever, I was able to get that, which is cool. But like as you're waiting in line for these secondary Funko booths, right? There's Mondo, there's Loungefly, Rewind, Biddy, Funko Games had its own booth. But as you're waiting for these, the line like wraps around the outside of the building, right? Outside of the booth. But as you're doing that, like other people who are coming to the Funkoville to visit or try to buy stuff are walking by too. So you end up seeing people which is a nice added bonus, right? As we were all just kind of hanging out on Funkoville on preview night, like I ran into people. I saw Sully. Sully came up to me as I was just about to make my purchase and enter the Biddy Mart. Right, I saw like Austin and Tanner, and I'm gonna not name people because I'm gonna miss them, but like everybody was just hanging out. Yeah, Biddy Mart for the Biddy Pops because they're little bitty guys. It's ridiculous.
Which I totally forgot about that once. I'm like,
oh yeah, I have those if you still want them. Yeah, and they had sodas at the Biddy Mart booth too, because that makes sense. But either way, it worked out because even though I wasn't able to get into Funko anything through the portal, through the lottery, because there were these other Funko booths, like I was able to go in and buy some exclusives, and it was really cool. It was really fun to be able to kind of do that. And that wasn't even our number one spot. Like as we hit the floor on Wednesday, I did not beeline it to Funko. We actually went to the Neopets booth and bought the new Neopets exclusive G Fuel flavors and like cup. So I was able to do that, buy that first, and still make it and get all the Funko stuff that I wanted to get.
But so they said you had this pop though, so right? So I borrowed Larry's. I said pop that I got for him. I said out of the booth for a quick picture. I said this was probably also one of my favorite Freddy's. I said from the booth, but
it's pretty cool. Yeah, thank you, Jeremy. Yeah, Jeremy got this one for me, and he got my wife the Bugs Life one. So Jeremy spread the wealth on his
spread the wealth
on his preview night access.
Yeah. Hey, and then gotta love some AI.
I like the AI.
My AI beach.
Not bad. But yeah, like Wednesday was nuts. Like, but after that, we just kind of walked around. I don't even think I saw you again on Wednesday. After the disperse.
Yeah, like because it was a mad rush to everything, and then I was literally in the Funko line for like forever.
Yeah. It's cool, but it eats up a big chunk of your preview night. But
yeah, I mean, that's literally almost the only thing you're doing preview night. Like I said, if you got it.
Yeah. What did you end up? What was your favorite Funko Pop from the booth exclusive? What did you keep that you liked the most?
Probably I said probably the bowling trophy.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was pretty cool because it was just different. Because it doesn't look like a pop. And I think that's why I said I liked it, because I actually took it out of the box, and that's actually sitting over one of my shelves. just because I said it just looks different. It doesn't look like a pop. It looks different. So I said that was one of the ones I said I ended up keeping. And then I have also the Johnny Knoxville. I said I wanted the I said I'm a big huge fan of Jackass. They're not going to make Jackass pops. So the closest I'm going to get is basically, hey, when Johnny Knoxville basically made his WWE, I said entrance. So
yeah. Super random,
but but you know what?
Fun.
I'll take it.
I saw he had like a Mattel WWE figure too.
Yeah, he had a Mattel WWE like okay.
Crazy, right?
Yeah,
but that's like you said, if you're a fan, like this is going to be your only chance to get a pop or an action figure, so it's cool.
So okay, one more thing on the Funko booth, right?
Yeah.
This was the interesting fact, right? So like I said, you had some show exclusives, right? And you had basically, you know, some things I'm like, you know what? Because they broke up basically the preview night into two groups. Basically, hey, there was three groups. There was group 1 and group 2 and group 3. So I was part of group 2, and I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna get some of these these show exclusives, right? Like the Powder Puff Girls that they had there. I think that was limited to 1,000.
Yeah, and Fairly Odd Parents.
Fairly Odd Parents. I said the Flock Tony thing. Fairly Odd Parents. They must have not had any. I said that preview night, or very very slim. I said amount, just because I didn't have a chance of that. But by the time I got up there, I'm like, I got the Powder Puff Girls. I got the the Flock Tony the Tiger. I'm like, great. So like that all that was still available. But yeah, then you had this random stuff that was out. So for example, like I really wanted the Big Lebowski, the Dude, but for some reason, not limited at all. That one was out.
Yeah. Surprising.
Okay. I'm like weird and surprising. And then like I said, there was a couple of the anime ones. Like I tried to get that. I said Larry's son wanted. I said the Demon Slayer 2-pack. And literally that was out.
But those are just popular ones.
It's
third season of it just wrapped up recently, so it's hot on people's mind right now. What was the other one, Jeremy, that you said the Dude? How many? You really thought that, like, even though this wasn't limited, that people weren't gonna buy the Dude? Like,
I'm surprised.
Really, I'm not.
I bet it's still available wherever it's shared.
Well, no, I bought it. I bought it on Funko Shop.
Yeah.
So I bought a couple things on Funko Shop, because like I said, I didn't get to get the Freddy's toucan. So I'm like, I ended up buying that from the shop, and then I bought the Dude from the Funko Shop as well. So shout out to the Funko Shop.
And you also bought the Proto Pup dog Pop too, because they didn't have him at the Rewind booth.
Yeah.
Until like Saturday,
like late Saturday
maybe
or
Friday.
Late Friday, maybe Saturday. Yeah,
I don't know. Either it was after both of us went through. It didn't show up. So Jeremy and I both ended up buying it online. Not here yet.
That works,
but it's coming one day.
Yeah, so if you can get it elsewhere, it's fine.
It worked. Yeah. I thought of something important. Not from Wednesday, but from Tuesday. I hit up the Sonic Speed Cafe. So we got to town early, right? We got to town on Tuesday, so we went to the Sonic Cafe, which Scott. It was Chicken Cone. They opened a Chicken Cone in downtown San Diego that me, Jeremy, and Ian were very much looking forward to going to. But guess what? No, they took that away from us. And they made it a Sonic Cafe.
Were they selling just the renamed Chicken Cone things, or they?
No,
they have hot dogs and stuff.
It's its own menu.
You answered my question by flipping it.
Yep. They had
chili dogs, of course.
Chili dogs, blue slushies. They did have like chicken tenders, which unfortunately were not chicken cone chicken tenders, because we've always got the nuggets, but they have chicken tenders as well, because the chicken nuggets are basically just chopped up tenders. So I was hopeful, but no, they were
chicken cone based entirely. Here you go, take the space.
Different menu. Yeah, it was cool. It was pretty packed on a Tuesday. The rest of the week, I think it just was more and more packed. But the worst part is, it was unbearably hot inside this restaurant. Like I got a peek at the thermometer that's over there against the wall. It was 80 degrees inside there, so it was warmer inside the Sonic Speed Cafe Yeah,
and I know the con hadn't started yet, but I know several con goers that would normally go to said thing. 80 degrees plus that amount of people.
Plus con funk.
Yeah, it was cooler outside.
Yeah.
Then my only other complaint is there were 3 tables. So there's this table here, one over there, and one right where this baby is on top of the table. There are 3 tables.
I mean, they couldn't put it on the regular tables because they had to wheel all that fake grass in there to make it like the Green Hill Zone.
Yeah,
you know, so
it was a mess. It was overpriced and not really worth it. But I'm glad we got to do it, and I'm really glad there's like maybe 4 people in line ahead of us, so we only waited maybe like 5 minutes to order. Glad I wasn't around the corner and standing outside all weekend because it was not worth it.
You said you guys didn't get a lot of the lotteries or anything. Either of you, I know Jeremy, you probably had hoped to get this. Did you at least get to go do the movies pop up, or did you skip that one?
Nope, we did the movies.
Okay.
So we'll get. I got a couple.
We'll get stories for that one. Okay.
Yeah,
I just wanted to see. You're talking about restaurants pop up.
No.
I'm going ahead,
totally but yes, we did. What else you got, Jeremy? Any other Wednesday tidbits?
No, another Wednesday tidbits. Honestly, just like you, right? Like I said, it was like I said, being kind of over in that funk area. It was just great running into people. So I ran into a couple of friends as well. So like, shout out to my friend Hussein. Like he was, like I said, he was over there. Like I said, I met him. I said a while back in Houston. Super cool dude. But yeah, it was great just hanging out. Like I said, on Wednesday, nice chill day. And I kind of every year, right? And we always talk about this. Like I said, every year you add basically something to your tribal knowledge of basically kind of like just like getting into the con. And like I said, same thing for this year, right? I said, normally I said we wait up in sales. This year is like, I think the first year we didn't actually wait up in sales. I said where we actually waited like in the actual main hallway. And I said, such a better way to go.
Yeah, it was. It worked out. It worked out a lot better. Not just Wednesday, but all the days. It was a huge plus. So no complaints there. But yeah, like I forget. I just kind of did the quick lap of the floor after doing the Funko stuff. I don't know if I bought anything. It was random stuff. But right, just kind of trying to get a feel for it and see what's out there and kind of check out some of the booths while we can. But if anything, like the rest of the days seemed, on kind of normal crowd, but Wednesday seemed super packed for a preview.
Wednesday was a really busy.
I don't know why.
Night. Like it was really busy.
We didn't do much. I think we bailed like maybe 30 minutes early at like 8:30 and just went back to the hotel. It's still a long day, man, to be out going all day till 8:30. But what did we did that?
So that's Wednesday. So let's go Thursday. Official day 1 of con.
Day 1. I think Thursday's when I actually went to the Rewind booth. I was hoping they'd have that Protopop. They did not. What did you? Oh, Thursday. I know where you head. You headed to a special on the floor autograph signing on Thursday, right?
Yes. So one of my all-time favorite metal bands, Lacuna Coil, I said was doing a random comic book signing. Like it was like I noticed. I noticed they were doing a signing. Like I said, like 2 weeks beforehand, and I'm like, this is completely random. I'm like, cool. I'm like, it's awesome that I said that they're going to be there. Don't know why they're going to be there. I'm like, because I said it's one of those type of bands to where like not a lot of people are going to know who they are, but the people who know who they are
know who they are.
Yeah. I have no idea who they are, but I
was happy. I have talked about it before. We're both fans.
Yeah. So imagine, I said, and the best way I can describe the music, right, is imagine basically if you combine Slipknot and Evanescence together, and that's what they sound. And that's
like new metal plus classical kind of feel.
Yeah. So it's they're a very awesome band. But like the lead singer Christina Scabia, so she's a giant nerd. Her first San Diego Comic-Con. So literally, very first thing I went to do is I beelined it for that booth because I'm like, you know what? I'm like, it's either going to be crazy busy or there's not going to be a single person there.
Yeah,
it happened to be the latter. Like I was literally the second person in line. I'm like, man, I could have done a whole bunch of other stuff and then still got to do this. But okay. But regardless, like I said,
got what you wanted.
It was like, you never know. The sad thing, the worst thing is you don't want to risk it and have
Yeah.
it be the
because it was like
former,
literally
right?
the one thing I wanted to do that day was that.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I got to meet them. Like I said, hung out. I said they were super nice. Took photos with everybody. Got
Cool.
You know, signed my book, like comic book and all that. Like awesome experience. Probably honestly one of my favorites signing experiences that I've ever had at Comic-Con, just because they didn't rush you along. Because like I said, every other signing experience that you had, if anybody's ever done a signing at Comic-Con before, it's literally you don't really get to talk to anybody. You don't get to you literally like the assembly line. It's all and then you
they
move
barely look
They
up.
are moving that. They are moving you through that line as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. I'm glad you got to do that. I'm glad you got a minute too, right? Because I remember we did a couple last year, like SpongeBob. Yeah. We did some of the Nickelodeon ones where they barely look up, and you did the Ozzy Osbourne one where you were like, weren't you like several feet away from him even? Like, yeah. So I'm glad this one was better.
Yeah, no, super cool experience. But that was my main thing. Got that knocked off the list. But
nice.
What about you, Larry? What did you do that morning?
It was rewind. Like I got my days mixed up. But yeah, other than that, no, it was just kind of hanging out. Took some pictures. I'm looking at my pictures. We went outside to the Dragon Ball Z experience thing that was behind the hotel. We ended up there several times. We got all the exclusives that they had, like the bag and the lanyard and the pins and that weird plastic thing that Ian made us wait for.
We wore fake hair for that.
We did in our Dragon Ball Z attire, I guess. You had to be dressed up, wear a shirt or like a cosplay or something, and then you got like a plastic, like acrylic stand,
little standy,
little display thing. So it was cool. So yeah, I did that. So then I think we took a little bit of a break because we had reservations for movies.
Yes.
At 4:30. So we short walk, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15. It wasn't bad. Short walk over to movies, same place it was last year. Tin Roof, I believe.
Yeah,
Tin Roof. What it's called.
But it was packed.
Yeah, it was packed. I was gonna say it was good. Like we got there was really no line to get our food. But our food came super quick, which was an issue last year. It took a while. But the bad part this year was there was nowhere to sit.
There was no place to sit at all.
And the people there didn't look like they were moving. So once we got our food, checked out the merch table, I think Jeremy bought a couple things. We decided to just go back to the hotel and eat at our hotel, which was fine. But, it would have been nice to be able to eat there.
Yeah, it would have been nice to eat there. And so we went to our secret hotel sitting spot, which was great.
It was perfect.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
Until they wanted to kick us out, but
yeah.
But
whatever.
It's
okay. We finished our movies.
Yeah, we finished our movies. But later that night, we had a good time because we met up with a friend of the podcast, Manny. So shout out to Manny. I said at a panel, I said that was co-hosted by Mike Becker about cereal.
Yeah, I think the official name was like 81 years of superhero cereal, something like that. Yeah, which was great, right? But so one of the benefits of getting our movies and go eating it at the hotel was that cereal panel was in our hotel.
Yeah.
So because we were already there eating, we got to get in line a little bit earlier, which ended up being a good thing because it ended up being packed.
It was every seat was full. And then so we actually sat in on the panel beforehand, as did a lot of other people. Yes. So there was a panel about basically the legal aspects of Indiana Jones.
Oh.
I got a shout out. I said on that panel.
You did. It was the Legal Geeks.
Yeah.
Apparently the podcast. We're hosting Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost lawsuit. The payoff on this one's good, so bear with us. Like it's a bit weird, right? But sometimes when you want to go to a panel at San Diego Comic-Con, you have to sit
through the one before.
Panels. Yeah, right. So we actually got there 2 panels early. So there's a blank space because the Major Wrestling Figure podcast bailed and canceled. But we got there the one before that even. So we ended up sitting in this room for at least 2 hours before this panel started. Right, we're there like 3+ hours early. But anyway, we're like, all right, these guys were shocked to walk in and the room was packed.
Yeah, the room was packed.
Like packed. There was a line out the door. Right there. Apparently they do these panels every year, which is cool. And they did another one the next day. But I've got their Instagram up. Or sorry, no, this is Twitter or X or whatever it's called now. But they posted a bunch of pictures from this thing, including one somewhere of the line. But to Jeremy's point, like it was very interactive. Here's the line. It was very interactive at the beginning. So they were looking for ideas for next. So I mean, this is the line in the hallway that they documented because it was so long.
And they're like, "Oh my god, these people are coming here for us." No.
Yep. They were all excited. It was great.
Was there a moment of realization, like when they got in?
I don't think so.
No.
Did they really think that entire time that everyone was there to listen to the legal aspects
because
of Indiana
we were all
Jones?
asking questions to them too.
It was great. Like it was.
I mean, you gotta. If I'm gonna sit in on your panel, I'm gonna at least try.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna be a dick.
Oh, we cheered.
I mean, the panelists are judges. Like,
they're legitimate, like Ninth Court Circuit judges. Like they're actually like legitimate.
So are they talking about like if you find a relic, like is it the legalese behind like if you found like the golden idol?
It's like you were there.
That's exactly
what it is. Yeah. Was that what like is that, it's kind of what I figured it was, but
we gave them the biggest ovation I'm sure they've ever gotten at a panel.
They're going to be so disappointed next year.
it was a good time. They were into it. I think it made them a little more excited, right? Because if you're doing a panel and there's like a dozen people or just a few, it's different than a packed house. So
and they asked like, "Hey, what's so what ruined?" What ruined Indiana Jones? And then I yelled out Shia LaBeouf. And then they tweeted out about it.
Yeah, Jeremy made the Twitter. It was great. But yeah, that was fun. So we did that, right? That was our gotta sit through it panel. It was good. It got a little boring, like you said, Scott. It's very legalese, and I'm like, oh. But it was entertaining to start off with. So it was an okay sit through panel. But then the highlight of the day. The only must attend panel that I think me and Jeremy had was this 81 years of collecting superhero cereal. So Funko founder Mike Becker and two other cerealologists, because apparently that's a thing.
Of course,
cereal collectors, right? Hardcore cereal collectors were there and presented a really cool slideshow. Just kind of walking through the different cereal boxes from the first ones with like Superman. Is it George Reeve? Yeah. Something like that, right? The very original TV Superman was into commercials and stuff. They played some video clips, but right, they went through those serials to like the more like modern ones that we would remember from like the 80s and 90s, and then kind of
and then I also learned some stuff too, like I never knew, right? Like I said, guess what? So they introduced Tony the Tiger for boys, but then there was like Kanga the Kangaroo for girls.
Yeah, because girls didn't like tigers. I have no idea.
If you ever think anything that's really crazy is the 80s, especially, like look at pre-1980s commercials for cereals and stuff, and post-1980s, because there was a law in the 80s that said you could not market to children.
Kanga,
and so
Kanga was in this. I think it was in the 60s or early 70s.
But so they had very strict ways that they had to do it back in the day. So you didn't have all the cool stuff, and then all of a sudden they opened it up to be like you can start marketing and advertising to kids, and shit blows up. Like there's like a distinctive line, and it's really cool if you ever go back or your things to look back through and see like the history of like pre and post, like when that happened.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense, right? Because sugary cereal is bad. It says like Nancy Reagan or something. But yeah, so like I shared out this picture on Twitter of Mike. He brought a big chunk of his cereal collection, including some older cereal boxes, but then a lot of Funko cereal. Which is really cool because like, right, they made that Funko cereal a couple years ago. I had no idea that he was so into cereal and such a big collector. So it made me respect the fact that he got to make all that Funko cereal, right? That had to be like a dream come true for him. So it was cool just to see him be so passionate about things. And then earlier that afternoon, though, he had posted on his Instagram, shout out to Instagram, that, hey, come by my cereal panel. I'll have some prizes. Like, okay. So we saw that, like, we were already planning on attending. Like I said, this is our number one. This is our number one thing we needed to attend. So we're like, all right, cool. Probably going to be a bigger crowd because he said prizes, right? So they did have some prizes, mostly the pins. Mike and a couple of the Funko team members were passing out pins. More like the crowd got a little crazy, and they ended up just kind of throwing pins at us. It was a good time.
That was a good time.
I think we ended up with 3 pins total because I got 2 and Jeremy got 1. Just kind of the same Funko pins that they passed out at the booth, but it was awesome to be able to get those. I think Manny got a proto, like a pocket pop keychain proto too. Yeah. Maybe a pin, I forget. But that was really cool. Like I said, like Jeremy said, super informative, just a really fun panel that I'm so glad we got.
Wait, open that picture back up here, Larry.
Yeah.
I'm just laughing because I'm looking at some of the cereals that are up on the list. I see the Funkos that were from the designer con, along with the brick.
Yes.
Like,
the Bear Brick one was right there.
Bear Brick one.
Scott, you have all of these.
I have all. Yeah, I was gonna say. I think I have most of these.
And the one of the first ones that they pulled out was this Lucky Charms one. And fun fact, that's not a cereal box at all. That's a T-shirt inside that box.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I know things. Yeah. But yeah, this is mostly from Designer Con.
I was just laughing because I see a bunch of the Designer Con ones. I was like, oh, I know those.
We have plenty of them.
I have a whole case full of them.
Yeah. So that happened, right? The panel wrapped up. It was really cool. Mike headed out. A couple of people stopped him to ask for, an autograph or a picture or whatever. He stopped, but they were trying to clear the room. They kicked us out of the room. So we were in the hallway, kicked us out of the hallway. Mike was such a good guy. He went outside to the little balcony and called a couple people out and signed some autographs, took some pictures. Jeremy and I and Manny were all kind of hanging back, but my wife, first San Diego Comic-Con, first any kind of Funko thing really, wanted to meet Mike. And he called her out to the balcony, took a picture, signed her Black Widow pop, and she was really happy. So that was cool because Mike's a really good guy. So it was nice that she was able to finally meet him, and she was super stoked to be able to do that. So that was fun. And that was our Thursday, man.
Thursday, yeah. It was a good time Thursday.
Yeah. Remember what I said? We thought we could do this in one episode.
No.
Well, that was 42 minutes ago.
So we got. Let's go through Friday. I think we got enough time for.
I think we could do Friday.
Probably Friday. We might not get to Friday night, but let's go through Friday.
I think we can get to Friday night.
Okay, let's knock it out. And then we can do
Friday. We started our day heading to the Fig Pin booth, right, Jeremy?
Yes. we got. So yeah. So every con, right? Like I said, and this happens all the time. Is the security guards get all crazy about stuff. Some of them take their jobs way too seriously, and so like the posted hours, right? Like I said, they're supposed to open up at 9:30. However, like I said, majority of the time they just basically, I said, if you're inside the hallway area, they'll just basically open it up, typically like 15 minutes early. So they open it up early, and then so me and Larry, I said we were right by the entrance, and so we were like, hey, guess what? Since we're right here, let's head over to the Fig Pin booth because there was this limited to 500 Avengers set of Fig Pins. I'm like, I don't have any Fig Pins. Right. Well, actually, I have one. I lied. I have one Fig Pin. I wanted the Avengers set. Like it's limited to 500. I'm like, this is the only way I'm going to get it. So we walk over, and we fast walk, like I said, over to the Fig Pin booth.
No running, because that's
no running. The rules. We're literally maybe 5th or 6th in line. Hey, we're getting. I said we're getting exactly what we got. But then I said we get tapped on the shoulder saying from security, like, hey, you got to go back, and they were like, no,
to just me and Jeremy, the 6 or 7 people in line in front of us. For some reason, it was us who weren't supposed to be there. I'm not sure why we got singled out, but to Jeremy's point, we're just like, no, we're like, looked at Jeremy like, no, we're just stay. And then not long after, another worker came up and they're like, oh no, they're good. The doors are open now. Like, you didn't get the message, and then he just no apology.
Just walked away because that's how they do.
Yeah, because I got in that line. I'm not moving out of that line. No.
You're going to have to forcibly remove me from the line, and by the time that happens, you're going to realize you were wrong.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, mission accomplished. Got my fig pins.
Yes, so. Yeah. Jeremy got that one. I got the Minecraft one because I wanted the sparkly Steve, which was cool.
Ooh.
So yeah, it was cool. Like, right, we're not the biggest fig pin collectors, but they had some nice exclusives this year that were worth checking out.
Yeah. Then we jammed by the Top Cow booth because I wanted they had these these blind bag cards to where you basically had the ability, like I said, to get a chase card, which was basically signed by Top Cow as an owner and also Witchblade artist Mark Silvestri. So I bought 2 blind bags, got 2 chases. So nice. I got 2. So each card, each card I got was a chase. This is like I got showing it on screen right now. It's basically this black and white sketch cover, actually physically signed by Mark Silvestri. So like I said, got that. However, though, right, since I got 2 of them, I said, I'm gonna give a personal shout out. Go and follow my other Instagram channel. I said Comic Fury. I said it's got some great comic book. I said it's a comic book posted every day. I said it's literally
a really cool comic book posted every day.
It's a really cool comic book posted every day. But if you want a chance to win, I said this is one gonna be the first giveaway. I said on the channel. Go ahead and follow. I said that channel. I said the rules are on that post. I said I posted in my story. The giveaway ends on 8/16. But yeah, go and win this one. I'd love to send it to one of you guys out there.
Yeah, which is very cool, Jeremy. It's a cool card. So yeah, if you're audio listeners, like Comic Fury on Instagram, it's still open till middle of August, so you got some time. Yep. I found myself in front of the Yesterday's booth on Sunday, which is another place that was selling those. So I took a shot at the Walking Dead Robert Kirkman one. You used up all our luck, Jeremy. I just got a regular, which is fine. Because if we would have been 3 for 3, that would have been crazy.
That would have been cool, but
even the regular card, like it's just a card with a black border of the Walking Dead #1 art. Like it's still really cool. So I was happy to have it. Anything else for Friday, or should we skip to the evening?
We can skip to the evening.
Do you want to do your evening first?
Yeah, let me do my evening first because that'll be fast because it'll be there. So there was a secondary signing, I said, with that band that I liked. So like I said, and that went, I said, pretty late. And so during that night, I also had I said tickets to go see Kevin Smith's podcast. I said Batman on Batman. So I'm like held the same place as movies and everything else like that. However, though, because I got out of that signing late, I'm like, hey, I said the podcast starts at 7. I'm like, I can jam out of here. I can get in line. I'm like, I don't care where I sit. I'm like, I'm just by myself anyways. So I'm like, I'll get there, like 6:15, 6:30, and just walk in. However, that was a mistake because they had basically signings and photo ops there, as well as the movies restaurant. They never cleared out the area. I said by the time the podcast started. So as a result, the fire marshal actually shut down. I said the
podcast really?
Yeah. Oh no, they shut down. Maybe shut down Maximum Capacity. So 30 people basically got chopped off a line and basically said, "Hey, too bad, so sad. You can't go in because even if you have a ticket, we can't let you in."
Can't let people in, and we're not going to kick anybody out who doesn't have a ticket. Yeah, that makes sense.
So then I'm like I was like sad Virgil. I'm like, man, now I got to go back to my hotel.
You're like sad Walter Jones.
I was like sad Walter Jones. Like I said, and the whole reason I said for all this, right, is because I said while I did have luck, I said getting into the Funko booth, I didn't have luck getting into Funko Fun Days. I think the worst thing about it though is so like our hotel had a direct line of sight
to Fun Days
from your window,
and then my specific room had a walkout balcony that literally faced exactly.
Was this one outside, Larry? Like they had the outside thing? So
they moved it outside to fit in a few more people.
Yeah.
So Jimmy, you could literally be set up on your balcony and watch the whole thing.
I could literally hear everything. I could watch everything. I heard everything. I'm like, but I don't get to participate. Like, it was very sad. But
That is very sad.
It's all good. But Larry, I said, let us know what happened. I said at Fun Days, just because there was a lot of goings-ons at the old Fun Days.
I'll try not to beat any dead horses, but no, it was a good time. Thank you shout out to Funko. Like overall, honestly, it was great. It was Fun Days. I had a lot of fun. My wife went. It was her first Fun Days. She had a lot of fun. So that's all that really matters, right? Saw a lot of cool people. Started off with our friend Manny, right? Night Bodega. Got a message from Manny. He's like, hey, if you want to come, hang out with us in line, and sit with, him and his group of friends, which is like, it's like the old Nerd Foo crew is what I'd call it, right? Corgi Commander, like Trevor from Secondary Heroes, those kind of guys. GB Reviews. I met GB Reviews for the first time, so that was cool. It was all those guys. So thank you, Manny. I don't know what happened, but somehow Manny got separated from us and the rest of the group, and he didn't sit with us, which sucked. But it was still a really good time. It was outside, right? Like just told Scott at the Rady Shell. I think it was over 3,000 people. I think they were able to add like 1,000 more seats, which is great. So a lot more people got to go. They boasted 50,000 people were trying to get in. I think they're not taking into account the fact that a lot of people had multiple browsers up. It probably wasn't 50,000, but it was still a lot of people wanted to be there. Still cool. But yeah, shout out to Funko for offering me up tickets so I could go again. Very, very much appreciate that. That being said, there were a few mishaps, particularly the food. A lot has been said about this sandwich over the past week. But yeah, Scott, you know how they usually have like a buffet and stuff? Well, they're mixing it up this time because it's outside and it was a camping theme. So, right,
get a sandwich.
The ticket even said, yeah, you're going to get a sack lunch. What do you get in a sack lunch? You get a sandwich. Well, this isn't
what
exactly a sandwich.
Is that supposed to be like a turkey?
Yeah. It was chicken.
It's chicken, but like there's like three little pieces of chicken on there.
Just tossed on the bread.
However,
a little bit of sauce, a little bit of lettuce.
I'm hoping that someone actually does it because I've seen this in a couple of the Funko groups. Have you seen basically someone offering basically to resin epoxy that's in the sandwich that fit that'll fit in a Funko box?
Yeah.
Please let somebody do that, just because that would be amazing.
Yeah, I hope somebody saved theirs. Ours went into the trash to make room for for the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, all the giveaways, the freebies.
Yeah, exactly. So
that is so fucking sad. I'm sorry to say, it's gross looking.
Bad.
Like that is not good looking.
It's not even
chicken.
Presented nice.
No, it's just
it was sad. Like
slapped together.
I usually don't eat at Fun Days anyhow. Last year was the first time I ate anything, so I wasn't dependent on it. But still, look at that.
They had some decent food. You go there, they had some good appetizers and stuff. That was good. That chicken doesn't even look right. I hate to tell you that. Chicken don't look right.
We didn't try to eat it, or we didn't examine it any more than this. But some people said theirs was frozen. Like it wasn't even cooked all the way, and supposedly somebody got food poisoning, and it was a mess, man. So the food definitely wasn't great. But you know what was great? The friends. We didn't get there in time to hit the line very hard, but once we were inside, I was able to hit the tables and walking around trying to actually go see Manny at his table up front. I ran into this guy, Brian Mariotti. I've never actually met Brian before, so that was cool. But yeah, that's not the right picture. But yeah, I'm really bad at taking pictures. But I remember to take a couple pictures this time. It's the two Joeys, right? Joey formerly from the Four Dorksmen, and Rice Balls Joey, and this guy. I've known this guy on Instagram for a really long time. His name's Ryan, so it was cool. There's me and Elizabeth and this giant Freddy. So it was cool. She woke up the next morning, and I asked her, her voice sounded weird. I'm like, are you getting sick? And she's like, no. I think it's because I was screaming too much at Fun Days. And I'm like, all right.
You get caught up with it.
That means it was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had fun. We got some cool stuff. We both got the same exact box of fun, which can either be really great or really bad. Yeah. This time it turned out okay. We got the box of fun with the Wolverine, Anakin, and Peacemaker Freddies. So 3 really cool Freddies. Some things happened after the fact to some of the limited edition Freddies, right? All 3 of those happened to be the 250 ones. So that once the at-home boxes of fun showed up, and like there was that metallic Captain America, which we thought was numbered to 250 or limited to 250, really was over 2,000. Like a few other Freddies too, just automatically jumped in numbers, but whatever. Like we got some cool stuff. We went home with some really cool Freddies. We got like that Bigfoot pop at the end. We got another Freddy as Ranger. We got some sodas. We got Blockbuster Rewind figures of Mike and Brian. It was cool, man. Like they hooked us up with some great stuff, regardless of the piece count. Like honestly, like that Captain America Freddy is really, really cool, and I would have wanted it even if they just had, like, you know, if it was 2250 on the sticker. I think it was just more disappointing that it was like, oh cool, it's 250, and then oh no, just kidding, there's 2,000 more. If they would have just got it the same number at the same time, it wouldn't have been such a big deal. But oh my god, the internet, you know,
the internet is
the internet melted down the past week or so when that news hit,
and it's still melting down.
It is, right? There's still between the sandwiches and the screw up with these stickers. Funko did issue an apology.
The lack of shipping, I said.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I got my online box of fun, but Jeremy, yours still hasn't moved, right? The tracking. We got the tracking number, but it hasn't updated. Yeah, so they're very slowly sending out the online boxes of fun too, which I got one as well. So I did good. Which had the Stormtrooper Freddy, Mad Hatter Freddy, and Megatron Freddy. Oh, the Megatron Freddy was one of the ones that was 250 on Friday too. And then no, just kidding, 2,000 more. It's still a cool Freddy. Yeah. I don't know. Funko issued an apology. I don't think there's anything they can do to make it better, but I don't even think they need to. But you know, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. If you only want things because it looks like it's limited.
If anybody's listening out there, I made the suggestion of how to make it better.
What was that? I forget.
I'm like, just let the people, I said, who had their tickets, rebuy their tickets for next year.
Yeah, totally okay with that.
It's a win-win, and I said for everybody.
Yeah, you want to make me happy?
Guarantee me.
Just throw me a bone and give me some tickets next year, and that would 100%. Yeah, all would be forgiven.
Hey, you don't even have to like something. You know, like, let me purchase my own tickets. I said for next year, right? Like just
This is what you need to do. Give them away. This is what you need to do, Larry.
Yeah.
You gotta hopefully say like, hey, take a picture of that sandwich, and then be like, you guys got me sick.
Food.
All I want as recompense is 6 guaranteed tickets to Fun Days for next year. That will make it up for it.
Yeah.
Enough for me and my family, right? And then throw a couple extras in there, right?
Well, Jeremy's family. We need, right? If you're able to go, like Manny, we would.
We have enough. That's what I'm saying. Like you need to sit there and be like, you guys got me sick.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It was, but other than that, like in the moment, it was fun. The venue was bigger, so it was a little bit harder to find people. I did, like I said, I was walking around. I did get a text message from my wife, like, "Where did you go? You left me alone with these people I don't know." So I had to come back to the table. And then on the way out, I kept doing the, oh, okay, let's say hi to one more person. Let's say hi to one more person. I did that to her at least 3 or 4 times as I saw people on the way out. But it was like Vin. I had to say hi to Vin. Yeah. And Super Jen. I had to say hi to Super Jen. And Vicky. Everybody is like a must. Everyone I saw was a must. I got to say hi to person. And then you start thinking about all the people you missed, which was a ton. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully I can do it again next year. We shall see. But it was different, but it was still a really, really good time. So,
hey, we can bust out Saturday real quick because Saturday is easy.
What do we do Saturday?
So Saturday, right? Larry, I said, Larry may not have had the luck. I said,
Oh, I know we
pulling,
did
I said,
Saturday.
pulling, the chase card. But one thing I said Larry had the luck of is like every day, right? And this is one thing I did every day is you could go to the CGC booth, and they basically had like they didn't do a good job marketing this at all. But I said if you follow them on social media and follow their accounts, you got to basically draw from their pin bag, basically where you got these pins. I would grab them, but they're in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, that's where my pin board is.
I know, but it sounds funny.
It sounds weird. But I said, so where they have basically these pins that are actually CGC grades. And then depending on if you got basically, a 9.9, or a 10, you actually got a prize. Along with that. So like, hey, the first day I got, a 9.6, second day I got a 9.8. The third day, the day that I went with Larry, I ended up actually getting a 0.5, which is actually pretty cool. Just because I'm like, it's awesome to have.
You have to have a point, the 0.5,
the lowest actual grade
score
that you can get. Besides no grade, right? But then Larry, I said, Larry, so what'd you get, Larry?
I got a 10.
A 10.
I got a 10. So so like Jamie said, I got a 10, which I thought was cool. I was just going to get it to give to Jeremy no matter what it was anyhow. But I got the best one. It was all sparkly too. It was a cool looking pin. But then the lady's like, oh, we got something else for you. So she shuffles around behind her in a box, and she's got this black CGC tote bag and hands it to me with a 9.8 signed Alex Ross variant cover of like Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
Really cool. Really cool.
It's like a $200. It's like a $200 plus book.
Yeah.
That's
for free.
A good haul.
For free.
Yeah, totally cool. I did go back on Sunday, and the line was really long, moderately long. There's a line, and then I went back later in the day, and they were sold out. So good thing we went on Saturday because I wasn't able to try again on Sunday. But yeah, it was a really cool bonus. Yeah. And dude, like honestly, like I thought you were going somewhere else with like I had good luck because we also went to the Demon Slayer panel.
Yes.
So there were very few panels with any type of like actors or talent. But the Demon Slayer panel had like five voice actors there, including the main guy. So we got to go there and check out that panel. That was cool. I would argue that that's one of the 2 or 3 best panels at Comic-Con all year that we were able to get into, which is great. We bailed a little bit early because right after there was going to be an autograph signing. The line or the crowd gathering to get in line for the autograph signing was so big. They took us outside and said, all right, guys, this is too much. You're each going to have to go up, hit this button. If you get a green, you get to go get your autograph. If you get a red, you're out of here. No luck. So even though Jeremy, me, and Ian were there early, we had a perfect spot to jump in that line when they said go. They're like, just kidding. You have to go outside and try your luck. So, there are 3 buttons on the table. Jeremy went up, got a red. Ian went up, got a red. I went up, got a green. And we got to go meet the 5 people from Demon Slayer.
So
and
you got
your picture side.
I was gonna say, so you got your green. Did they let like Ian and Jeremy go with you? Not Jeremy,
not Jeremy, but I was able to. Ian and I were able to go together. Yeah,
he is still a minor. He's coming with me.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't watch Demon Slayer. Jeremy doesn't watch Demon Slayer. Like we were doing it for Ian.
Yeah, we were doing it for Ian.
It worked out. Yeah. I was a little worried they'd give us a hard time, but they did not. So that was cool. But yeah, so Ian more so than me, got this autograph picture by the 5 Demon Slayer people that were there. Which was really cool. So yeah, we did good. Again, there's really no actors or anything except for like these 5 guys. This is like one of the panels that actually had some talent. Because there was like a Futurama signing too, which is through the lottery, but that ended up being just like producers and not even Matt Groening. So I really feel like we got to see one of the coolest panels and got to get an autograph.
I think that. That kind of answers another question because almost every year there's a random celebrity that we run into.
Yeah, Ed asked that. Yeah,
and go through. And I think Ed had asked if we had. So I'm guessing it was a no this year. No.
I ran into a couple of people. I ran into one person 3 times. Comic book legend Jim Lee was staying at our hotel. I walked by and I saw Jim. I think I was going over to see Jeremy, and I saw Jim Lee checking into his room in the hotel lobby at the registration desk. Next day, went down to get a snack at the little snack station, and Jim Lee was in front of me in line, so we're snack buddies. And then we also rode the elevator together because he was staying on my floor another day. So this con was definitely the Jim Lee con for me. I also saw horror legend Tony Todd get off the elevator because apparently he was staying at our hotel too. So yeah, I think those are the only two though.
Yeah, because my last one last year was Carrie peeing next to Carrie Payton in the bathroom.
No bathroom encounter.
Washing our hands at the same time, and then not realizing, like, holy shit, that's the voice of Cyborg.
Yeah. No bathroom encounter, just snack buddies.
Yes, I ran into I said who was staying on my floor. Mexican wrestling legend Santos.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we saw him in the lobby too.
Yeah, he was in the lobby too.
He had a mask because he was taking pictures.
He has a luchador mask on. Yep, and he has a little security detail. Yep. So
I mean that's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool too.
By itself. Yeah. Oh, Manny says he ran into the Run DMC guy. Is it Run? I think
Daryl McDaniels. Daryl McDaniels.
Yeah, he's the DMC. That's cool. Yeah, he was there. He's doing a signing, right? He does a lot of comic book stuff, so that's really cool.
Santos. Yeah, he was staying at the Marriott.
That's awesome. I don't think I saw anybody else. But yeah, I mean, doesn't mean I didn't run into, right? It's you randomly see people like Manny or other people walking around, which is just as fun as seeing a celebrity as when you see a friend across the aisle.
Right, you don't get to see, like people in person.
Yeah, because Ian gave me a hard time. He's like, you're embarrassing. You keep shouting out people's names. I'm like, well, when you see your friend, you have to shout out their name. That way they know you see you. Yeah, that's what we did. We also went to the Spider-Man 2 video game panel on Thursday in Hall H. My first time in Hall H.
Yes,
we totally skipped that, but that was cool too. We got a sneak peek at that new game that's coming out in October. This looks cool. That's where Tony Todd. That's why Tony Todd was there. He's Venom.
That's what Tony Todd was there. And I said they announced the new Spider-Man. I said PS5, but they luckily saved the day. And they also said that they didn't announce at the panel is that you could buy the controllers and the faceplate separately.
That's right.
Which I scored those on Friday.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Because those plates sold out fast.
Yes, they did.
So that's awesome. I looked
fast. Yes.
I was able to get a controller off Amazon. But those plates went really fast.
The plates went incredibly fast.
Yeah, that was cool. But yeah, and then Jeremy was a little tired, so he headed home on Sunday.
Yeah,
and
I was booked through Monday. I'm like, I'm just done.
I get it. It was for a lighter year. It was still a lot of fun, right? Like it was a good time. San Diego Comic-Con is still 10 times better than any other con. Like it's that good, even kind of on a down year. And like it was still a good time. All I did on Sunday really is walk around and just hit the exhibit floor and tried to check out things I hadn't seen. So I didn't miss much, or you didn't miss much.
Manny, so
you got so Jeremy asked, like, it would be an STS Guys without a hot toy reveal. I think you got that Punisher, right? That one's new.
Yeah, so I got the Punisher, which it's not actually the Punisher. The actual product name is called the Punish Man Frank because it's a third-party knockoff figure.
Well, just because here we go.
Yes.
That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That was hot. That's hot. That is really hot.
But the one thing I was trying to get, Larry was sitting in line with me when I was trying to get this, is I said they announced a new Advanced Suit Spider-Man from the new game that was limited to 1,000 pieces, hot toy. And why said Signal at the convention center sucked.
I think Sideshow's site just was overwhelmed too, right?
Overwhelmed. But it ended up finally getting through. I said on that. So it was ended up getting a new hot toy out of that.
Well, and then right after that too, we talked a little bit about how Jeremy and I both got an online box of fun as well. The Spider-Man thing was Friday, and then like an hour later at 9:30, we were trying for the online box of fun to stand in the lobby by ourselves. Everyone else is excited to go in the convention center. Jeremy, we're over here just trying to buy stuff. I got through pretty easy to get my box of fun. Jeremy's kept dying on him, and then we kind of gave up, right? Because they sold out. But then like 20 minutes later, I was trying for Jeremy on my phone too, like with his card and stuff. And 20 minutes later, I got an email that's like, "Hey, we got your order." I'm like, "Jeremy," like I tapped it, like we were walking, like I remember exactly where we were by the Lego booth. And I'm like, "Jeremy, like, look, apparently I got you a box of fun." It just took,
yes.
like we never got a confirmation, like it just never went through. But surprise, we got an email, and then we've got the shipping notification too. So that should be coming soon, hopefully.
Yeah, so hopefully that comes soon. But yeah, just it hasn't moved, but
it hasn't moved, but it's on its way.
It's on.
You have a shipping label, so you know it's coming.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's that. I said here's that Punisher. Looks pretty good likeness for John Bernthal.
I thought it was Hot Toy.
But yeah. So it is technically called.
Was that an AI background on that picture you shared?
Oh, of course, it's an AI background.
It was a great AI background too.
Yeah. So it is called the
Hero
Punish
Toy.
Man Frank.
Punish Man.
Because
what is this?
by Hero Toy.
Oh, yeah.
Hero Toy
with a collaboration with this company called Facepool. But yeah, it's a totally unlicensed figure. Like they actually came out with a Hot Toys with a Hot Toys version of this. But the Hot Toys version of this came out when Daredevil came out, and it's an incredibly expensive Hot Toy. It's like an $800 Hot Toy.
Wow.
Yeah.
This one's cool enough.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't need $800. I'm like, knockoff is good for me. I'm like, and this guy, he looks fairly decent.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good enough.
The sculpt is good. So
maybe they'll make another one whenever that Daredevil reboot comes out.
Yeah, it's just funny. It's like the boxes on these types of figures. Like, yeah, here's the box.
Punish Man Frank.
Punish Man Frank.
That's awesome. Hey, they made a box for it. They could have just thrown it in like a Ziploc baggie.
Yeah. But yeah, so
cool.
this is like the legitimate box for it is the Punish Man Frank. But I'm like, okay,
that's awesome.
Sure, I'll take a Punish Man Frank.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, Larry, I think it's time for you to do your thing.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for listening. Great Comic-Con again. Mm-hmm. Very, very fortunate, very blessed to be able to go again. We were fully aware of that. It was a good time, like I said, even on down year. If you want to follow along for all the STS Guys adventures, you can follow us on Instagram. We're at STS Guys. We're on Threads at STS Guys. And guess what? We're still on Facebook at the STS Guys. And I'm Larry from the STS Guys.
Shilling like a villain.
Shilling like a villain.
Ding, 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 diggy, ding, ding. Ding, 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 diggy, ding, ding.
A little stutter there.
If you like coffee and rad hats, check out Lost Astronaut Coffee Company. If you use the link in our bio, you'll save on your first order. Lost Astronaut Coffee Company. It's the best.
It's the best.
And if you like podcasts, guess what? I've got a few friends who have podcasts.
I don't have friends. I got family.
That's right.
There's like a little delay, so I keep.
It was weird.
Double tap.
StreamYard. Check out our That's right. Check out our podcast family, like The Dumbest Thing, featuring Mike and Josh from Talking Pops, coming soon. Pop Collectors Alliance, Secondary Heroes. Shout out to those guys. Average Nerd Podcast. Shout out to those guys, especially Av on his Funko Hall of Fame. Nerdy Curious Movie Retakes, Toy Rewind Podcast. 3 beers and a bike, and Cookie and Just a Little Podcast, and shout out to everybody we saw at Comic-Con who helped make our weekend extra great. Shout out to Jeremy for hanging out and going to the Dragon Ball Z thing like 3 times.
Hey, you know what? Like I was always said about that's at the Dragon Ball Z
in the heat.
Hey, it's all good. Hey, I said I was been trying to find that picture though. I said with us. I said I wanted to see the wide picture with us with our Dragon Ball Z hair on.
Yeah, they said it was on the web. It was supposed to be on the website.
Yeah,
whatever website that is.
I said I put Goofy
We're on
Dragon
some-
Ball Z hair on. I said,
We're on
yeah.
somebody's OnlyFans. It was a scam.
Yeah, probably.
That's all right. All right. Good
All
times,
All
y'all.
right,
Good
Jeremy,
times.
do your thing.
All right. So for episode 245 of the STS Guys, I've been Jeremy.
Hey, it's Larry.
And I'm Scott.
And we're the STS Guys. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.